The woman only made a sudden decision to secretly visit the place where her husband worked, but she never expected that this simple visit would uncover the shocking secret her husband had hidden for years. Following the address, she arrived at the construction site in a small town where the man worked. She politely asked whether her husband worked there, but the moment she spoke, the older man at the entrance casually called him his son-in-law. In that instant, it felt like lightning struck her. Her mind went completely blank and even breathing became difficult. She could not believe that the husband she had been married to for over 10 years actually had another family outside, but she quickly forced herself to calm down. To avoid alerting anyone, she could only pretend she came for work and continued testing the situation. Not long later, a gentle-looking woman walked out from inside the house. After hearing she was her husband's co-worker, the woman immediately became warm and friendly. She even pulled her inside and invited her to wait at home for the man to return. Along the way, the woman kept talking about how the man had taken their child into the city for medical treatment, saying the child had a serious fever and the man was too worried to relax, so he personally rode a motorcycle early in the morning to take the child to a large hospital. Every word was filled with dependence and admiration toward him. The wife quietly listened while her heart slowly sank deeper and deeper. What made it even more ironic was that halfway there a villager rode over on a motorcycle delivering a huge bag of freshly roasted chestnuts. It turned out the man was worried the woman at home would wake up hungry, so he specially asked someone to bring them back on the way. Seeing this completely made the wife feel ridiculous inside. The husband, who always insisted on splitting every expense equally and constantly talked about fairness in their marriage, was actually playing the role of the perfect loving husband in the countryside. Very soon, the mistress brought her to a beautiful little villa. With a proud smile, the woman explained that the house was personally designed and paid for by the man, because he could not stand seeing her looked down on by people in the village, so he spent a huge amount of money building this house for her. And the thing that completely crushed the wife was that the man she was talking about was her own husband. The moment she stepped into the living room, the family portrait on the wall instantly stabbed into her eyes. Inside the photo, a family of 4 smiled with perfect happiness, especially the little girl held tightly in her husband's arms, which felt like a knife piercing directly into her heart, because just last year she once suggested having another daughter, but her husband coldly rejected the idea and claimed he simply did not like girls. Only now did she realize it was never that he disliked girls, he had simply given all his love to another family. The mistress noticed nothing unusual and happily continued bragging about how much the man loved the 2 children, especially the daughter, who was spoiled like a little princess. Thinking about her own 10-year-old son constantly waiting for his father to come home only to be disappointed again and again, the anger inside the woman finally started burning completely. But she still did not expose anything, because she knew gathering more evidence was the most important thing right now. So she purposely brought up whether the man planned to transfer back to the city. But the mistress immediately started complaining, saying the man had already received a transfer order, yet because he could not bear leaving her and the children, he used connections and gifts to beg people so he could stay in the countryside. Only at this moment did the woman finally understand everything completely. All those years her husband's excuse about being forced to stay by work had always been a lie. He was never trapped there against his will. He willingly chose to stay beside another woman. Right then, the man suddenly called. Inside the call, his voice sounded unbelievably gentle. He softly comforted the woman and even acted spoiled, saying he had spent too much money paying the child's hospital fees and hoped she could transfer him $300. While the mistress pretended to complain, her tone was still full of affection. The way the two interacted sounded exactly like a truly loving married couple. Holding the phone in her hand, the wife only felt coldness spreading through her entire body. After being married for so many years, she had never heard her husband speak like that before. In front of her, he was always cold, restrained, and carried himself like some distant intellectual, but now he was willing to lower himself and carefully please another woman. During dinner, the mistress family praised the man endlessly. In their eyes, the son-in-law was not only hardworking and caring, he was even more filial than a real son. But nobody there knew that the man's actual parents had long been bedridden with serious illnesses. Yet over the years, he always used work as an excuse and never once went back to care for them. Sitting at the dinner table, the wife only felt everything before her was unbelievably absurd. She finally realized the man she deeply loved all these years was nothing but a complete liar. He gave all his responsibility, tenderness, and companionship to another family, while she and her child were nothing more than forgotten decorations left behind in the city. Thinking of this, the woman finally stopped hesitating. She used feeling unwell as an excuse and walked alone into the bathroom, then immediately called her friend at the police station. At this moment, she no longer wanted to keep enduring everything silently, because she understood what her husband hid was not only another marriage, but even more secrets nobody knew about. Early the next morning, the man returned home carrying his sick son in his arms. His face still wore that same gentle and caring expression, but the next second, the woman sitting in the living room slowly stood up, staring at the man she had shared a bed with for years. She only coldly asked him one question: when he just called someone wife, who exactly was he talking to?